Imagine this, a century from today, when a historian dusts off the archives of our time. The first line of the chapter might read, "The 21st century, the era when humanity finally dared to challenge the flow of time." But here is the chilling truth. Are we really the masters of our clock? Or are we just puppets in a cosmic game we don't yet understand? What if I told you that you could step into a machine today and walk out into a world where everyone you knew is gone, yet you haven't aged a single day? What if I told you that you could literally outrun the future? And science is standing right behind me, nodding its head? Buckle up. This isn't science fiction. This is the mind-bending reality of time dilation. In our everyday lives, we take it for granted that time is the same for everyone. 1 second, 1 minute, 1 year. A universal heartbeat that never misses a beat. But science? Science calls it an illusion. Over a century ago, Albert Einstein dropped a bombshell on humanity. Time is not a constant. It bends, it stretches, it shrinks. It is a slave to speed and a prisoner of gravity. Imagine two people, separated by the vastness of space, moving at different speeds or standing near different worlds. Their clocks will never, ever tick in sync again. One might live through an hour, while for the other, a lifetime has passed. The question is no longer what time is it? The question is, how is this even possible? Now picture this. You are strapped into the cockpit of the most advanced spacecraft ever built. The engines ignite. The floor beneath you vibrates with raw power. Your speed begins to climb. 10% the speed of light, 50%, 90%, and then you hit the limit, 99.9% of the speed of light. At this point, the fundamental laws of reality begin to shatter. At this blistering speed, time for you begins to surrender. Inside the ship, everything feels perfect. Your watch ticks normally. Your heart beats in its usual rhythm. You feel nothing out of the ordinary. But back on Earth, while you are gliding through the stars, time on Earth is screaming past you. Here is the mind-blowing reality. If you travel at this speed for just 5 years, what do you think you will find when you finally return home? According to the cold, hard laws of physics, while your calendar only marked 5 years, on Earth, 3 or 4 decades have been swept away by the winds of time. You will return with the same young face, the same strength in your bones. But your friends? They will be elderly, their stories almost finished. The world you once called home will be a place you no longer recognize. This isn't a fairy tale. This isn't just a director's exaggeration for a blockbuster movie. This is the raw, undeniable fabric of our universe. This is the very reality that the movie Interstellar laid bare before the world. But it leaves us with 2 haunting questions. Was Interstellar just a masterpiece of imagination? Or did it show us a truth of science that we are simply not ready to face? Now I know what some of you are thinking. This is all just a theory. It's just math on a chalkboard, not reality. But the truth is, time dilation has already been caught in the act. NASA didn't just guess. They proved it with atomic clocks, the most precise instruments ever created by man. One clock stayed grounded on Earth. The other was launched into the heavens, orbiting on a satellite. The result? When they reunited, the clocks were no longer in sync. The satellite clock had lived a different reality. Yes, the difference was microscopic, a mere fraction of a second. But in the world of science, a tiny crack is all you need to open a doorway to the future. Which brings us to the ultimate question. If we can already witness time shifting by a heartbeat, how long before we can bend it by a lifetime? If speed can slow down the ticking of time, and if gravity can bend its very flow, then just imagine. What happens to time at the edge of a black hole? Does the boundary between the past and the future simply vanish? And if someone dared to step into that darkness, could they ever find their way back? The answers to these questions lie far beyond simple theories. Our next chapter will pull us deep into the heart of gravity and into the shadows of the black hole. Stay tuned, because the journey has just begun. Imagine this. You are standing firmly on Earth. Your watch is ticking. Each second feels perfectly normal, predictable. But now, I want you to picture yourself standing on a world where gravity is so immense, so crushing, that it warps the very space around you. The question is, will time still flow the same way in that heavy silence? Science has a one-word answer. No. If you still think this is just a classroom theory, listen to this one simple reality. The GPS, that little blue dot on your phone that tells you exactly where you are, it is useless without satellites. These satellites are screaming through the void high above us. Up there, the grip of Earth's gravity is weaker. And because gravity is weaker, time on those satellites actually ticks faster than the clocks on Earth. It's a microscopic difference, barely a blink. But if scientists ignored this tiny gap in time, your GPS would be off by kilometers every single day. The question is haunting. If the subtle gravity of Earth can shift time, what happens when gravity becomes extreme? Now let's step into the next level of gravity, the neutron star. Imagine a star once massive and brilliant, collapsing under its own weight at the end of its life. It shrinks until it's no larger than a city. But its weight, its mass, more than our entire sun. The gravity here is so monstrous that if you were to stand on its surface, you wouldn't just be crushed, you would be torn apart atom by atom. And what about time? In this crushing grip, time itself begins to suffocate. It slows down significantly, which leads us to the ultimate mystery. If time is struggling to move on a neutron star, what happens when we reach the point of no return? What happens inside a black hole? A black hole is not just a hole in space. It is the absolute limit of gravity, the ultimate extreme. It is a place so dark and so powerful that even light, the fastest thing in the universe, is trapped forever. But if light cannot escape, what happens to the ticking of time? According to Einstein's equations, near the edge of a black hole, time doesn't just slow down, it practically freezes. Imagine an astronaut venturing to the brink of this abyss. For them, only a few minutes might tick away. They might just have enough time to take a few breaths to look around. But in that same window of time, outside in the rest of the universe, centuries have turned into dust. Civilizations have risen and fallen. Entire worlds have been forgotten. But this leaves us with a haunting realization. Can someone actually journey to the edge of a black hole and live to tell the tale? Or is all of this just a beautiful nightmare, born from equations and numbers on a blackboard? Think about it. If time truly freezes at that dark horizon, does that mean if you stood there, you could watch the entire future of the universe unfold before your eyes in a single flash of light? Are black holes the ultimate windows into the future? Or are they the final graves of everything we know? The answer lies deep within the one place where even physics breaks down. The singularity. Imagine this. You leave your home in the morning. You spend a normal day doing normal things. But when you return in the evening, the world has sprinted 100 years into the future. You are still young. You look exactly the same. But your friends, your family, they are no longer people. They are history. The question is this just a heartbreaking scene from a movie? Or does science admit that this door is actually open? People often say, time travel is impossible. It's a dream for the movies. But the truth is much more startling. Humanity has already traveled through time. Take our astronauts, those who have lived aboard the International Space Station, hurtling around our planet at incredible speeds. When they return to Earth, they are technically younger than the rest of us by a few microseconds. Yes, the gap is microscopic, but it is real. It is measurable. It is undeniable. What does this mean? It means that if you have the right speed and the right gravity, the future isn't something you wait for. It's a place you can jump into, slowly, quietly, but surely. But here's where we hit a wall, the Great Divide. While the laws of physics give us a green light to the future, the road to the past is shrouded in silence. Think about the consequences. If you step into the past and change even the smallest detail, what happens to the present? If you go back and prevent your own grandfather from meeting your grandmother, then you are never born. But if you are never born, who went back in time to stop them? This is the grandfather paradox, a loop of logic that breaks the universe. As of today, even our greatest minds have no clear answer to this riddle. The past, it seems, is a book that science isn't yet allowed to rewrite. Some scientists offer a glimmer of hope. The wormhole. Imagine the fabric of space-time not as a flat road, but as a sheet of paper. A wormhole is a fold, a cosmic shortcut, a doorway where you step in and instantly emerge on the other side of the universe, or perhaps in another time altogether. But there is a catch, a terrifying one. Wormholes are naturally unstable. They flicker and vanish in a heartbeat. To hold such a bridge open, we would need negative energy, a mysterious substance that defies everything we know. As of now, negative energy is just a ghost in our equations. In the real world, there is no solid proof it even exists. Without it, any attempt to cross a wormhole would end in total annihilation, even if the impossible becomes possible tomorrow. Even if we build a machine that can pierce through the veil of time? The question is no longer, can we go? The question is, should we? If we begin to meddle with the roots of our history, will it truly make human life better? Or will we accidentally unravel the very fabric of our existence? Every tragedy we lived through, every mistake we made, is what brought us to this moment. If you delete the pain of the past, do you also delete the strength of the future? Perhaps time isn't meant to be conquered. Perhaps the chaos of time is the only thing keeping our reality together. Before we try to control the clock, we must ask ourselves, are we ready to play God?